against Russia, we are told. This is a war against Putin.
We will hold the Kremlin accountable.
We're adding President Putin and Foreign Secretary Lavrov to the list of sanctions. They are responsible for the deaths of innocent people in Ukraine.
In alignment with the decision by our European allies, the United States will join them in sanctioning President Putin.
Despite that, the West's axe continues to fall on everyday Russian citizens, whether that be the direct consequences of sanctions or measures that are being taken here in Europe. Take the situation in Flanders in Belgium, where new students from Russia will now be excluded from a scholarship program. That followed a request that came from Ukraine. However, according to the Flemish education minister, the ban is about heaping on the pressure.
We are not doing this because we believe that all Russians are guilty of the war, but we are doing it because we hope that measures like this will help to put pressure on those in power in Russia.
In Brussels, there were conflicted opinions on the measure.
I don't find that fair in the sense that the Russian people have little to do with this. I suppose most Russians are anti-war. It is not a good thing to do against Russian students or any Russians, but maybe it will work. There are both anti and pro-Russian opinions. We should be more nuanced and balanced in our views, which is quite rare in media.
I don't think it's fair. I think everyone deserves education, and I think that most population in Russia, they don't want this war. They don't feel concerned about this.
On one part, it's very unfair toward the students because they are not responsible for the actual situation, like in Ukraine and things like that. But on the other side, I do think that, let's say, measures need to be taken against Russia in order to have a bit of an impact on what they're doing.
The cancelling of events related to Russia is also continuing. In Wales, in the UK, the Cardiff Philharmonic Orchestra has removed works by Tchaikovsky from its programme at an upcoming concert. The once planned all Tchaikovsky concert is now being substituted.
In light of the recent Russian invasion of Ukraine, Cardiff Philharmonic Orchestra feel the previously advertised program, including the 1812 overture, to be inappropriate at this time.
Though the move was apparently supposed to be in support of Ukraine, the idea of cancelling music by a Russian composer who died more than 100 years ago has provoked ridicule.
Canceling a Tchaikovsky concert is so daft ordinary Russians will write it off as Mad Vlad overdoing the propaganda.
Doubly absurd because Tchaikovsky spent a lot of time in Ukraine and incorporated a lot of Ukrainian folk music and stories into his work.
Well, this is clearly no skin off the nose of Tchaikovsky. For up-and-coming Russian musicians, being cancelled is problematic. In Ireland, the Dublin International Piano Competition has decided that they are not welcome. It told one applicant that he had been rejected simply because he's Russian. He was left wondering this.
I'm just curious, how will this help to stop the war?
The anti-Russian rhetoric is, though, now facing some backlash. In the US, conservative commentator Candace Owens is one voice calling it out.
Absolutely appalling the way Russians are being treated in America and abroad. That our leaders and government institutions are allowing for, and at times calling for, this discrimination following the global Black Lives Matter hysteria is quite telling. Russian lives matter.
Despite this, the march against Russia in all levels of life continues. The International Cat Federation, for example, which describes itself as the United Nation of Cats, has also got its claws out. Moggies who have found themselves unfortunate enough to have Russian owners have been banned from the competitions. Now, if that isn't catty, don't